Hey there, Marks. Today we're plugging into the gritty, futuristic world of Strange Days, where memories are for sale and the Y2K paranoia is dialed all the way up. We'll be diving deep into the tech-noir madness, asking the big questions. Does Strange Days predict the future, or is it just a 90s fever dream? Buckle up, it's gonna get weird. I'm Randy. With me, as always, is Do.
Hey-o.
And we have a very special guest on our episode today to discuss Strange Days. This is Josh.
Oh, Josh just
He's
went
cracking
in.
already.
What are you drinking, Josh?
In my typical fashion, I'm two-fisted till the very end. I got Modelo Oro and Miller Lite.
All right, you're cracking, I'm cracking, we're all cracking.
It's getting weird.
What are you cracking, Randy?
This is a, let me see, this is a Brewdog Hellcat. It's a part of the Iron Maiden family of beers.
Ooh.
And it's their IPA. So
Fantastic.
this is a tasty one.
Cheers, everybody.
Josh, thank you so much for joining us.
Always a
Thank you,
pleasure, my
Josh.
friends.
Thank you.
Ever since the inception of this idea of this podcast, I know, we've kind of always, we've always talked movies,
Yeah.
I've known, you're the two people, I think, in my friend crew, definitely that I've known the longest.
Right.
Josh, I've known you since roughly March of 99.
Fun fact about this movie, New Year's Eve, 1999, one of my first shit facings at your house.
That's a fact.
Yep.
Yes. And I met you shortly thereafter, the start of the school year of 99. So
Yeah.
it's September.
Right.
Somewhere
so
in there.
It's kind of wild.
Yeah. So I've known you guys it's officially, for both of you guys, 25 years. That's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah.
So we've all talked movies for a very long time. But Josh, it's official now.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on here, man.
Fucking glad to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. First, besides cracking a beer and asking what you guys are drinking, what are you guys watching right now?
Very little.
Yeah, documentaries. Tiff and I, we're getting into the documentary. She loves a documentary, whether it's Netflix or HBO or Peacock. She doesn't. Yeah, any documentary anywhere she wants to watch, which I do also love a doc. But I like to watch movies, clearly.
Right.
I want to throw in a movie every now and again. So
Sure.
Other than Strange Days and any of our other podcasting movies, it's basically been podcasts. Or it's basically been documentaries.
Sure.
I did tell you we were watching New Girl. And
Right.
We kind of put a pause on that one for a minute. And then, what the hell else we've been watching? I've been watching football. Football's back.
Yeah.
So, been watching football. What about you, Do?
I'm watching a lot of old stuff again. Nothing really new. Twister's always on the TV. Doing a lot of Tom Hanks. So
Twister?
Forrest Gump, and yeah, man. Twister. The wife loves Twister,
So I got to ask, because you said it's always on. How often do you watch Twister?
Probably twice a week.
No bullshit.
No bullshit.
Every week.
Every week.
52 weeks out of the year.
52 weeks out of the
No.
year. At least twice. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. If it's not on AMC or whatever, like she owns it on every streaming platform, so we'll just throw it on the streaming. And like if we were heading home tonight, Twister would probably be on the radio as we were heading home, just because.
Well, damn. But
So,
I know.
Actually, real quick, I did watch something recently, and I want to just put it out there for you guys as fan base. The Crow remake.
Oh, God.
Fucking dog shit. Fucking don't.
Yeah. I didn't want to from the get-go.
I know.
Now
I
really
research purposes. I had to as a fanboy. It was dog shit. It's one of the worst
I'm so
movies
sorry
I've
you
ever
put yourself through
seen.
that.
I was already in a bad mood. It's just like, let's see if I can make it worse. Like, just poking the bear. And that was the Crow remake. Seriously, don't ever watch it.
I don't think I will.
Don't.
It'll probably be on Max or
Don't.
something within the next
Save
few
yourself
months.
2 hours.
Paramount
You know,
Plus.
Exorcist Believer, I said the same thing. From minute one, I was like, I don't care about this movie.
Yeah.
And I still have yet to watch it. I could watch it right now I think it's on Peacock.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not going to watch it.
The Ed Furlong sequel was better
Wow.
than the remake.
That's saying
At
a
least
lot.
you got right into the action in the first 30 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't even get into the makeup until the last 30.
Oh.
It's like, come on.
Yeah, that's really weird.
It's manic, shitty manic pixie dream girl and shitty fucking wannabe SoundCloud rapper.
Oh no.
So I know one reason, Josh, why you may not have a ton of time to watch any movies or anything, really, is because you are a member of two, not one, but two bands that are actively playing shows regularly.
Yeah.
You've got Metalation and you've got Maiden 81.
I also do hired gun work from time to time, too.
Yeah.
So I may be down in Florida in December playing with Orchestra in Black.
Oh,
That's
hey.
cool.
And, I do hired gun stuff. If someone needs a guitar player for a night, I'm a fucking whore for 6 strings, sometimes even 7.
That's how you
But I got to
be,
charge extra for that 7th string.
yeah.
So, Josh, why Strange Days? To bring it back to Strange Days, why Strange Days?
So, why Strange Days? First of all, this movie is an underground, beautiful, not underground, but it's very cult classic, very not well known. I caught it one night, the last 45 minutes, turned it on, like, what is this movie? This really weird, like, hey, we're inside of people's memories. You've got Tom Sizemore and that fucking wig that's killing it the entire movie.
It really is. That wig's working hard.
But why, in reality, I picked it, like, first of all, you guys both are appreciative of the James Cameron sci-fi side of things. This is his screenplay. Second, we live in a society right now that is so in tune with watching other people's memories on social media.
Sure.
And being like, what is this person up to? Like, I wish I was there. Like, hey, in this alternate universe 1999, we can take you to that moment. We can feel it. We can, we can have this sexual experience. We could be rollerblading on the beach. We could be committing that fucking crime. Second reason I picked that is this movie was made in 1994, specifically using like the Rodney King riots. Mm-hmm. It was a huge thing. We had a similar situation during the pandemic, and I'm like, this movie was made 25, 30 years ago, whatever it is now. Like, it's how much more relevant now is then.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, you were talking about people watching memories on YouTube. And I know Morgan, my daughter, she's gone on to YouTube to watch people visiting Disney World.
Yeah.
They take you throughout the whole park.
Yeah.
So basically you can live it just without riding the rides.
Right.
And it is kind of trippy because that's exactly what was going on in this movie 25 years ago. And so in that regard, I mean, James Cameron, he caught on to that concept.
Sure.
So
how do you think the tech, depicted 25 years ago, both of you, how do you think the tech stuff holds up today?
Well, I mean, they're the only difference that they showed from what a 2000 looked like is that whole neural pathway thing, and they are working on neural pathway things now, just not as successful as what the movie would have you believe. Fortunately, Elon in Texas is burning monkeys as we speak with his little neural net, little systems that he's trying to get going.
Yeah. So I guess when you saw it way back in the day, Josh,
what wasn't even way back. I was like in my mid-20s.
Were you really?
Okay. Because I got home from work in the middle of the night, and I was just like, turn on the TV, and I'm like, what is this amazing movie?
Okay.
Who makes Tom Sizemore's wig, and I need 3 of those.
So what were your first thoughts or impressions or how you felt after you finished watching it?
I loved the pace and like just how I felt on edge the entire movie. Like what is this, the significance of Jericho 1, like the corrupt police, like, Lenny Nero just being the sleazeball that he is, Juliette Lewis being the same Juliette Lewis in every movie. That's not going to stop. It's going to keep coming up. This is going to be your most NC-17 episode yet.
All right, kids.
What characters in Strange Days did you find the most interesting?
Hold on 1 second. When was the first time you saw this movie?
Well, so actually, I thought that I had watched the whole thing way back in the day. Mm-hmm. But it turns out after this viewing that there were parts that I definitely didn't remember.
Right.
So I saw it roughly 2000, 2001. It was either one that I rented or I saw it on HBO Showtime.
Sure.
And I started it and probably passed out.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the movie. It was probably a late night viewing and I just passed out. But way back in the day, and I actually remember it being super cool, and I was like, oh man, yeah, I like that movie. But it's one that it's not super well known, not very popular, and so it goes under the radar.
Yeah.
So it's not I didn't view it again until Josh brought this this podcast.
I saw it. I bought the book, the 1001 Movies to See Before You Die.
Oh yeah,
and so it's in there. And so that was my first time viewing it.
That's funny.
But I was in the same boat you were. I didn't remember all of it as it was. And this viewing, it was like, okay, all right, I missed a lot of stuff from there.
It definitely has a cool look, a cool vibe.
Well, it's that techno noir, right? It's that same, was it Ridley Scott, Blade Runner?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That same Blade Runner vibe, only a little bit more grittier. A little futuristic.
It definitely is gritty. And so I don't know if we want to dive into this right now, but for a James Cameron, I was a little surprised, that just how gritty it was. Because the other James Cameron, I guess the other ones being, I guess Terminator has its grit.
Yeah.
True Lies has its grit, but I think that this is really like his most R-rated effort.
Definitely darkest of that.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that it, being a James Cameron written movie.
So are you a big James Cameron fan as a whole?
I like it when James Cameron does sci-fi.
Sure.
Like when James Cameron does Titanic, no.
Yeah.
What about True Lies?
I like True Lies.
Because that's not really like sci-fi. That's just an action.
It's almost, it's action, but it's humor, and it's done well.
So it is.
We should preface this that James Cameron wrote the film. His girlfriend at the time, Catherine Bigelow, actually directed it. And
she's just a Bigelow.
Some,
everybody knows.
Well,
some people can argue that technically it's not really a Catherine Bigelow film because James Cameron had his hands in every stinking aspect of this movie.
Including Linda Hamilton. The movie.
Not this movie, Terminator.
Right. Well, actually, they got divorced and he ended up with Hamilton after that. I was like, this is the dumb shit I'm researching for this.
So, Catherine, I'll let you get back to your question.
No, you're fine.
Besides Point Break, are you a fan of Catherine Bigelow?
What else did she do?
Director?
Well, so she did Near Dark.
Oh, I love Near Dark.
I love Near Dark. Love Point Break. And then
Hurt Locker.
Don't like Hurt Locker.
I know you don't.
I don't like Zero Dark 30.
Zero Dark 30. She kind of went on this whole Yay America sort of kick so that she could win some Oscar gold to kind of shove it up James Cameron's ass.
Man, that is an awesome fuck you moment.
Right, yeah. And to be fair, I haven't seen The Hurt Locker since the year it came out.
Yeah.
So I'm due for another view, and it might actually be brought here where we can discuss The Hurt Locker, because it's that was 08 or 09 that came out, and so it's been 15 plus years since the last time I saw The Hurt Locker. But just going back, I'll recap in the movie here a little bit before we dive into more questions.
Go ahead. Sorry.
The opening tracking shot is amazing. Mm-hmm. Like it really draws you in. You're like, what am I watching? Like it's kind of different. It's almost done like a video game.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, this is kind of surreal, but you're watching something that's really happening. And that tracking shot all the way throughout is just insane. Kudos to Bigelow for that. I don't know how much of a hand.
Well, James, once again, stepping in, James Cameron had to sort of press the flesh to the palm of everywhere to get somebody to make a camera that was able to handle these point of view sort of situations. And so once again, it's James Cameron who was like, well, we need this type of camera for this sort of situation.
But cinematographer Catherine Bigelow, James Cameron, well done. I just think that was awesome. And the concept itself, I think, like, I'm kind of surprised, Josh, you mentioned the YouTube stuff, but I'm really surprised that something like this really hasn't, like, come down the pike just yet, because
I'd say give it 5 years. We'll be able to, you start seeing some of the things like people missing limbs that, well, hey, this is connected to my brain that can make my hand move,
Yeah.
Some of the things that it's like, well, if we hit these right neurotransmitters, like we can make the brain feel this and elicit this dopamine or take away dopamine and do all sorts of not things we should be doing to our fucking brains.
Oh, for sure.
But we're a dumb society and we're going to fucking do it.
Yeah, we are. And it definitely seems like something that could happen.
Yeah.
Whether it's chips or whatever. It just seems like these are going to happen. Yeah.
Well, another movie similar to this is Existence.
Oh, I never saw that.
Fucking awesome.
Is that the one with Keanu Reeves?
No, it's a spiritual sequel to it's a Cronenberg movie, Videodrome.
Videodrome.
Oh,
It's
I
essentially
love Videodrome.
Yeah, this is basically the sequel to that, where it's a video game instead of a movie, where you basically have a jack that puts you full on inside of. Sorry, those that don't know, I'm a fucking cyberpunk fucking nerd. It's my thing.
Perfect.
Yeah. Basically, I don't think we're that far off from having some sort of like, we have suits that'll make you feel like you're getting punched in a video game, and all sort, like, we're not that far off from this sort of technology.
Well, right, because I mean, we already got the VR. Just make VR a little less virtual
With
and more
haptics,
reality.
yeah.
That's nuts. But and then I thought Ray Fiennes was just like spot on, perfect for this role. I don't know what it is about Fiennes, but he was a perfect fit.
He and Bassett might be my favorite parts about this movie as a whole.
Bassett turned into a real badass, and because the second half of this movie is really where I got fuzzy on it, which I probably fell asleep the first time I watched it. But yeah, seeing Bassett as that badass, it was like, hell yeah, like it kicked it up.
When the limousine is underwater, fucking baller move, like, we're gonna shoot out the back fucking window, get ready to swim, like, fuck yeah, boss. So,
what a strange film for them to take on in this time in their careers as well. You know, Ray Fiennes just coming off of Quiz Show and Schindler's List and the accolades he got from that, and then Angela Bassett was What's Love Got to Do with It, and Malcolm X. So they're both at their peak '90s like heyday there.
Well, you see James Cameron's name on a piece of paper, or whatever, and say, hey, James Cameron's involved in this project, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna jump and do that. So
didn't he only have like 2 or 3 films at that point in time? It was just Terminator, right?
Well, no, because he had Terminator, he had Terminator 2,
Terminator 2 was out. I thought Terminator 2 was happening at the same time. I think this was
pre-Titanic.
This is pre-Titanic.
This is
I think this came out in 94.
Titanic
94,
was I think 96.
Yeah. For some reason I was thinking this was 98. Yeah. Jesus, so late.
Yeah.
So, but no, he and don't forget Piranha 2.
Piranha 2, yeah. James Cameron's Piranha 2.
Yeah. But he had Aliens.
That's right. Aliens. I forgot about
The
Aliens.
Abyss.
Right.
So yeah, he had some movies.
Yeah.
For sure. But either way, big movies. But it's just like with Scorsese. It's like you got Cape Fear, which may not be his best outing, but you see Scorsese's name and it's like, all right, I'm going to jump in there. I'm going to do a Scorsese project. I thought Michael Wincott.
My favorite 90s villain ever.
Dude, he is. Yeah, obviously he played Top Dollar in The Crow.
Guy Gisborne in the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
He was also one of the Cardinal Vichy's men in The Three Musketeers. This guy was peak 90s villain.
I complain about Juliette Lewis playing the same character in every fucking movie, but when Michael Wincott does it, fucking let him, because he's fucking awesome.
He really does.
He's like Elias Koteas. You're like, oh, I don't care. I love him in this.
Dude, he is great in anything he does. There's a lot of actors out there like that. But, and also a little tie into The Crow too. Graham Revell, he did the score for this, and he also did the score for The Crow.
The score was really good for this.
The score for The Crow is far better, but this one is dark and unsettling. It's got some guts to it.
So, on the music front, did you happen to notice a cameo at the New Year's Eve party?
Not that I can remember.
Testament is actually in the movie during the New Year's Eve party. They actually recorded a song for the soundtrack, but because the soundtrack was already huge, they just were happy doing the cameo, and it's fucking awesome.
Hell yeah, dude. That's
fucking
badass.
Awesome.
Vincent D'Onofrio is one of the corrupt cops with...
for sure.
Those corrupt cops are fucking great.
With, what's his name? He's in everything, though.
I remember, that dude died in the beginning of Batman or Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So, Josh, how do you think Strange Days compares to the other sci-fi films of the 90s? Where would you rank it compared to some of the others out there? 90s were ripe with sci-fi.
Right.
I mean, in a similar league, you could put Johnny Mnemonic, where you have a memory implant that's worth something notable.
Man. I'm not a big... Strange Days really didn't hit for me though.
Really?
Yeah, it's not really my jam. It didn't really hit the mark for me.
As a whole, it missed the mark?
Yeah, as a whole, it missed the mark.
Have you seen Total Recall?
I have seen Total Recall. Get your ass to Mars.
I watched that a few weeks prior before we had discussions about this. It's like awesome.
But I think it could have been a lot better than what it was, and I think its missteps were a lot of Catherine Bigelow's missteps and a lot of things that she does. It's very disjointed. Like I said, my favorite things about this were Ralph Fiennes and Angela Bassett.
Yeah, they're awesome. There was something missing, though. You're right. Because I've got a note. I'll save mine. But yeah, there was something missing. There was a missing ingredient. I don't know if it was like heart. It just needed a little, like with Blade Runner. Blade Runner has heart. Right. And you feel it. This one, to me, I don't know. And I don't know if that's a Catherine Bigelow thing. I don't know if it's...
It kept rushing to get to its next point.
Yeah, that's true.
Every chance it got, it rushed to get to the next point. Okay, we did all of this. We're in trouble now. We're at this point. Yeah. Okay, we're in trouble now. We're getting to this next point. Oh, we're in trouble now. We're getting to this next point.
You do make a good point. Where there's a very few moment. The one flashback of Lenny when he's still a fucking cop and going to visit Angela Bassett. Yeah, like that's your only moment. Oh, here's Lenny with fucking the slut rollerblading. Like,
yeah.
Like, who cares about fucking Juliette Lewis?
Well, and you also don't really, I at least didn't feel that. I didn't feel his heartbreak over Juliette Lewis.
No.
So, there was something missing there for me that I felt like you needed to humanize Lenny a little bit more.
Yeah. But and we got glimpses of that when he goes, when we do see Angela Bassett having to deal with whomever, I think it was her husband getting locked up. I think that was the explanation or something of that nature, and he's there with her kid.
Even to that degree, I think with the entire Jericho 1 story, maybe showing him a little bit more of what he means to that community and why his murder is so intense. It's like, hey, he's a rapper.
Right.
Like, that's kind of a subtle nod at Tupac or the big influencers of the time. It's like, all you see is this dude hanging out with a couple of prostitutes, get popped by a couple of police, and then this entire
I want to see
point.
Big speeches to the community. I want to see him like doing stuff for the community. What was so important about him that why is everybody rioting in the streets? And so that's a lot that I was finding. Like you said, that really didn't have any heart or really. It had the drive of these cops were corrupt cops and whatnot, but like.
I hate to continue to draw the comparisons with The Crow, but I'm just going to do one more.
Yeah.
But that's one where it could have easily been done very similarly, where it's on the surface and you don't really feel it. But with The Crow, you do feel it. Yeah. With Eric Draven, you feel his pain and why he's brought back to rectify.
I think even to have a subtle nod, being like, there's a memorial service, and then showing tens of thousands of people out front of where he was executed as a memorial, that would have done a lot for putting that heart that you guys feel like it's lacking. Yeah. And I don't disagree with you on the lack of heart. That's just I never put a lot of thought into it.
Sure.
It's cyberpunk. You're in a heartless, dangerous, evil city. There is no love. There is just survival.
No, I get it, but there's still got to be something driving everything.
The human aspect, not just the cyber aspect.
But to your point about it being kind of bleak, maybe you're supposed to feel that way.
Right.
Maybe that's how, as a filmmaker, that's how they, Catherine Bigelow wanted to craft this. Yeah, because I did kind of feel that coming out of the movie, where it's like, man, this is dark, this is bleak. It's like Requiem for a Dream. You walk out of that movie not feeling very good.
Yeah.
But Strange Days, I don't know, for me, missing just a little something.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I liked it. I thought it was smart. I thought Fiennes and Bassett were unreal. The concept was too cool. I liked it. Yeah, it was a little long. Probably could have been about 30 minutes shorter than it was. That was probably my biggest gripe about it.
One of my other complaints, especially now, is the aspect ratio sucks.
Yeah,
it was like I can't do this to my thing to like get the pan and scan on my. It's like the 2:185. I'm like, and like I had just ordered an import Blu-ray.
Yeah. And
I'm like, come on, show up with a better aspect ratio.
Nope. Did you get the Blu-ray?
I did. I got it for my region
Does
free
it look
players.
way better?
I haven't received it yet. It's shipping out from Germany.
Okay, because you lent me your copy.
Yeah.
And it was good. I don't know. I don't know what aspect that was, but
it was. I think it's just straight DVD.
And it could have used an upgrade.
Right.
So you get standard DVD, and that was.
Well, I mean, this thing it just shows you how underground this film is with its availability. You can't stream it anywhere. Like you had to get a region free, like an international copy on Blu-ray, for Christ's sakes. Like, you'd think with a name like Catherine Bigelow and James Cameron that they'd be. I mean, to that same point though, Abyss only was just put out in 4K for the first time this year.
Cameron is super selective,
right?
He holds his stuff real tight to the vest,
but also you'd think that there would be a little bit something more from that.
But like you said, because he just put out the Aliens, and he's doing the Terminator.
Yeah.
He's doing Terminator 1 in November. But
I'm sure it's gonna be a steelbook release too.
It is. I pre-ordered already. It's November 19th.
Of course you do.
Release date. So I'm pumped. I heard already early squawkings about the transfer not being great.
Oh no.
He does Cameron likes to do a real glossy transfer, make it look real pristine and very little grain. Yeah. Which whatever.
I personally like that. Like I want it to look as modern. If I'm paying 4K money, fucking Blu-ray money, like I want it pristine. Like get rid of all the grain. Like be clear.
I think there can be an argument for that, but I like a little of the grain.
I mean, I still think Han shot first, but
So, Josh, this movie, of course, you brought it. So this movie hits every mark for you.
I love the neo-noir, I guess would be a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, this is 5 years into the future.
Right.
I love potential technology shit. This is why Total Recall is a movie I love. Like, we're going to implant memories in you. We're going to alter. We're going to give you someone else's memory. Like,
sure.
I love shit like that. Like, this is the potential future you could have. Like, and we live, especially post-pandemic. Like, we're all like, homeboy went to Mexico during pandemic. Like, I'm going to heart react that because I wish I was doing that. Like, like we're all sharing people's memories every time you open up your phone. Like, when James Cameron does sci-fi, he's not far from the mark. Terminator. Hey, 35 years later, we're now at a point with artificial intelligence where Skynet potentially could rise the fucking up.
That's very true.
Like this, like, hey, we have a kind of a soft version of this right now.
Yeah.
5-10 years down the road, like, hey, you want to plug in and we're going to put this thing on the back of your neck.
This concept seems crazy real to me.
Yeah. And it's, you look at even the piece of headwear, it's like, that
the
kind
squid.
of,
right. I even love the name of it.
Yeah. It's like this.
He was wearing a squid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could work, damn it.
Yeah.
I am like, it's creepy how it can work. But, so were there any, for either one of you, standout scenes or action sequences or anything like that in the movie for you?
Well, we talked about her shooting the limo out. Anytime he goes, "Hey, are you looking for a watch?" That made me laugh every fucking time because we know that guy, right? Yeah. And any particular scenes? No, not really.
No.
It ran on for me. Every scene was the same. The next scene to that. But how about you?
You, Josh?
Fuck. Tom Sizemore's wig. Fucking awesome. Fucking great shout out to the cast. Lenny Nero's tie.
Yeah.
That got shouted out quite a few. His suits look great.
Yeah.
Like, to be like, that's kind of my style when I want to dress a little slutty. But no, Juliette Lewis pretty much pulled from her personal wardrobe. I'm just going to keep snagging on her. I can't fucking stand her.
Do you have any redeeming qualities for Juliette Lewis?
She was great in What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Oh, okay. What about Natural Born Killers?
Oh, but she's playing the same character.
It's a very similar character.
She is a very one-dimensional actress.
Right. She's awesome in that, but it's like it gives the origin story in that of like why she's so like home abuse. Like
I haven't seen that Yellow Jacket show, but I guess she's pretty good.
I haven't either. Yeah, it's got who else is in it? Christina Ricci.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm interested.
Is Elijah Wood in that one? Can't remember.
I can't remember either.
Yeah, but
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. As far as like I was talking about the grittiness of James Cameron and the rape and murder scene that they do. I mean, it was tough to watch.
It's hard to watch.
I was told that it shut it off the TV.
Yeah.
At one point, Rachel wasn't watching with me. She was just in the same room, and she goes, "What the fuck is this? This is too much. You need to shut this off." And I was like, "Okay, not a problem."
Very rough scene to watch.
Yeah.
And I thought the reaction of anybody that's watching the memory of it super authentic and genuine. It was like, wow, like this really well acted on everybody's parts there. But like I said, that doesn't seem like James Cameron content.
No.
It's like, ooh, that's pretty. I guess, you needed it to drive the story. And if you don't show it, it doesn't have the same impact. So I get it, but oof, gritty to watch as a viewer.
I mean, the double cross at the end, when Juliette Lewis, like, that's tough to watch. But like once you realize what's actually going on, it's like
it takes me out though. It takes me out. Like they put all of this was put together, and it was just a coincidence that this poor rapper got shot at the same time, and then all of this is just coincidentally happening on this, and then they're going to kill everybody because they wanted to get together, and Guy of Gisborne was being paranoid, and so that's why they had to kill him. It was all just very too coincidental for me.
I don't disagree with that, but goddamn it, it's a fucking movie. It's fucking awesome. It's fun.
Speaking of squid footage, there's the footage of Fiennes watching himself while he's sleeping on the couch.
Creepy as fuck.
Man, I don't know how I would do watching that if it was of myself. That was creepy.
Yeah.
We were talking when I first got here about how home invasion's tough. Like, it's one of my own personal fears.
Yeah.
Like, to have a video of someone walking into my apartment and putting
the shit out of them and wait till the cops show up. That's all you.
But if you're that passed out on like a fucking booze...
No, I know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'll tell you why I made that comment later.
A unique experience, yeah.
Yeah, if you're... Like, I've had nights after a lot of alcohols where you could break into my apartment, steal my cat, turn my amps up to fucking 10, play all my guitars. I'm not going to wake up.
Yeah.
If someone were to come into my apartment and put a box cutter to my throat and send me a video of it,
that'll give you the heebie-jeebies.
I'm not leaving my apartment without something that's going to make
I'm such a light sleeper,
boom.
though, that I couldn't, like, the moment somebody stepped into my room, that'd be it.
The older I get, the lighter I sleep.
Yeah.
So I would definitely be on alert. Yeah, but in my 20s, for sure, I would just throughout, take anything, yeah. So I guess I have one last question, and it's if this movie were to be remade today.
Fuck, I was going to bring that up too.
Oh shit! Well, I just think 25 years or how long has it been? Is that 30 years now almost? So 30 years have almost gone by. Like, do you think any updates or changes could be made to make it more today's standards?
Well, to Josh's point, we're going through a lot of the shit that's going on in that film.
But I mean, I'm talking like with today's technology.
With today's technology.
Because we already have the concept.
Right.
Like, I'm just thinking, like, could any tweaks be made to make it more modern?
It could be like, well, hey, you have to go to the dark web to get a certain app. And
there you
have to, go talk to a guy in the dark side of town, and like he's going to get you the squid.
The squid footage is more easily accessible.
Right,
it's
like
online.
You can go to a database and you can have the experience you want for a price.
Just like any sort of bit of information is more attainable. There's always going to be a way to get something.
Even then, you could
in the darker areas.
Well, you could also have like a website where like you can download all these fun memories. Like here's Disney World. Like here's a blowjob from a Thai lady boy. But if you want something snuffed, you got to talk to a guy.
Yeah.
So little updates to a modernized version, but not a lot.
No.
Making it more electronic. Yeah. Electronic payment kind of stuff. So
I think it'd be all like because we already have a handheld thing.
Yeah.
It would be all phone based.
Mm-hmm.
You download and that's where everything pops into your head from
I
there.
love the fact they used a mini disc.
Yeah.
Because that was such a cool technology at the time.
It was.
I still want to collect those before they start getting trendy. Because it was like such a weird thing that was like, these were only released for 6 weeks. This was going to be the new technology, and Sony fucked up.
Yeah. But I don't know. Those are really my questions and my notes. Do you guys have anything else?
No. I thank you, Josh, for bringing this.
Thank you for having me.
Film to us. I don't think I'd ever have given this film a second thought if you hadn't brought it here.
It might have come up on my list, but I don't know if it would have. So I'm grateful for it too, because I definitely dug the movie. I dug the concept. Like I said, really smart for its time.
Josh, where can our listeners find you if they wanna find you more? For what you do.
About what I do, Chicago Metal Demon 666 on Instagram. Joshua Malmer-Pukin, I'm not going to spell that for you, on Facebook. Maiden81 on Facebook and Instagram, and Metalation on Facebook.
We'll do all the tags on the socials.
Do it. I appreciate it. I'm already, I already tagged Movie Marks on a post on my Instagram.
I saw that, yeah.
So fucking supporting the homies. It would all
just like Josh said, you can find us on our Instagram and our Facebook and our hundreds of other social media platforms.
Yeah, if it's streams or if it's social, you can find us there. So.
Yeah. YouTube,
Speaking of streams, Spotify. I gotta hit the can.
There you go. Well, we're gonna let Josh hit the can. So, well, thank you guys always for listening. Josh, thank you very much for bringing this.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for always being here, buddy.
Hey, not a problem. I had a good time.
All right, everybody.
Cheers, champions.
Bye.
We don't ever know how to finish this.